We're gonna get
No.
murder.
Murder. Woo! I am the alarm system.
That means today we can do Nick's Corner.
Nick, and it's perfect because this is us learning about it. The perfect introduction to Nick's Corner to see what he knows. Maybe we can test him.
Ooh, well, Nick and I had a really in-depth conversation yesterday.
Yeah, I heard a little bit. Hi.
Carl's Jr. Perfect.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Bye. And that was Nick.
They couldn't hear him at
You
all.
couldn't see him.
Or hear him.
Wait, it really doesn't pick that up, huh?
Probably not.
They're like, who is he talking to?
We could do like a little cartoon drawing of Nick like hopping across the... Because I'm really talented and I know how to do animation.
I'm hydrated.
I'm anti-hydrated.
I like that.
Today's
term
episode
better.
is not sponsored by Alani.
But it is
And
sponsored
sponsor us if
by
you want.
At Home Coffee.
Football. Dude, love football. We're girls that are in love with the idea of football, with the idea.
Welcome back to my house.
Right? Ashlee's house.
Yeah, my couch. I like sitting on the couch with you. This is where it all began. This is where our friendship began. Watching TV
I
together
like sitting on the couch with you.
and like talking. We would talk. We would have conversations on this couch.
Yeah, we would take 2 hours to watch a 45-minute episode.
Because we kept pausing and then
talking.
dissecting, and then just talking about like what our brains think and our souls think of life
Whatever
and the
it was,
situation.
yeah.
And just really in depth. And like every single time I was like, we should have a podcast.
We didn't talk about this. We should be recording them right now.
And then we did.
And we did it right now. We're doing it today.
And then I was like, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months
8, 9,
later,
10,
I was
11.
like, I hate it when we talk about stuff and don't do it.
She did. We were walking out of church.
But I did.
And no, it was so funny because we had just walked away from someone joking / being real about talking about starting a
Joking
podcast.
/ being real is going
And
on
we
my
were
tombstone.
and we were walking and we were walking to the parking lot, and she was like, "Do you know what my biggest pet peeve is? When people talk about doing something and then don't actually do it." It was so funny because we were just talking on the podcast. I was like, "Oh,
But
my.
I didn't mean it in a mean
No,
way
no, you didn't.
or like to be
No.
passive aggressive at
No.
all. I just was like saying it
was
to
in your
myself.
head, yeah."
I was saying it to myself because I'm like, stop it.
And the next
Stop
day,
it.
she's like, "We're recording."
Okay. Second up,
This episode is about the history
the history of football,
of le football.
which I learned yesterday.
It's actually so interesting. She was telling me a little bit about it yesterday, just a little bit, because
No spoilers.
no spoilers, not for me.
Wait, save it for the pod.
Save for the pod. Yeah, that's
We
our.
actually don't talk at all ever to each other until we're recording.
We pretend we're not even friends.
No,
and then we record.
we're not actually friends.
Yeah.
Only when we're on camera. JK.
No, yeah, that's fake.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Okay.
Um,
Today's about the history of football.
yeah, and it is interesting, and it is fun. So I learned a
Because-
little bit of it, and I was like, I never knew that. I never would have thought of that.
Everything has history to it. Everything started somewhere.
Right.
I feel like I sound so stupid
What?
because I'm like saying it, but nobody knows my sense of humor.
But they just have to get it. They'll get it eventually. Like, how do we dive
Take a
into
deep breath.
this?
I'm gonna dive.
Okay.
Just let me get on the diving board
Ready
first.
to dive.
Just let me get set up. So I spent like all of yesterday learning about the history of football for this
Fact.
very moment in time, and learned a lot that I think even football fans themselves may not know.
Right.
Well, I actually was sharing with my dad, and my
Yes.
dad was like, I never knew that.
So cool.
It's like, why would you, unless you like studied the history?
Yeah.
Which that's what we're here
Like
for.
you
We're here
did.
to, yeah, like I did. I may not know the plays yet,
Yet.
but I know where the game started and how and
Which
who
is arguably cooler.
and how.
Because because most people who know about football know all that the stuff, like the basic things, like how the game is played and the team names and where they are and stuff like that. But very little people actually know these facts that we're about to share with you right now.
That I'm about to share with you.
Yeah, sure.
No, it's fun.
Yeah.
No, are you
Yes.
excited?
Yes, I'm so excited.
Okay. Because I came over last night and I wanted to tell you, but you're like, don't tell me.
Because I wanted to be authentic.
I know.
Because I know we're so funny. And if that's the hard thing, is we're so funny always. And if we're funny
Off camera, then
camera,
what's the point?
Why are we even?
Like, why are we even, like, what's the
Even.
point? If a tree falls in a forest.
Do you hear that ever? Da-da-da, surprise!
Ta-da! My very exclusive football notepad.
Very cute.
I
Very
know.
professional.
very coach.
We love her. Yeah, it's giving coach.
Giving coach. I started yesterday with my endeavors.
Just yesterday.
Yeah, because I was like, obviously, there's 1,000 billions, trillion podcasts that have been made, and there's probably someone that's talked about it already, like the history of football. So
yeah,
that's what I did.
Right,
I researched, typed in Spotify,
looked up.
And first I put history of football, and the first two I found were English football, so not
What?
American football.
Why would that be the first thing that
Because
pops up?
that's what like original football.
Yeah.
Because that was a land before we were a land.
The land before time.
Yeah, where all the dinosaurs came from. And so they were like talking with their accents, which was cute, but it wasn't what I wanted at the moment. And
Maybe
then
later.
I found this History Channel podcast. Then I changed it to American football. I found a History Channel podcast, which was actually fascinating, which I'll tag in the
We'll
bio.
tag in the bio. links down below.
Links down below, because they need more followers, because like this really famous actress, actually.
Wait, who is it? You didn't tell
Kate
me.
Mara. I feel like if you saw her,
Probably.
you would recognize her.
I'm way better
I
with faces.
know her because she's in one of my favorite movies of all time called Happy Thank You More Please, which is a very indie movie by Josh Radnor.
Right.
Check it out.
Link down below.
And I will make you watch that with me one day.
Okay, it'll happen.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy Stupid Love, you said? No, that's the one with Michael Scott.
Happy Thank You More Please.
Oh, yeah.
It's really cute. I think you would like it a lot. Okay. So
That actress voices this audiobook, right?
yes, and it's audio.
Right.
The audible podcast.
Yes.
Audible
original
podcast, whatever.
Podcast.
And it's like goes into the history, not just like Wikipedia facts. Like it's like in-depth storytelling, which I enjoyed because I'm like, okay, this is making me interested in that topic.
Yes.
And then I was like, it's a whole like 10 episode series. I'm like, I don't have time to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have time to in one day. So then I did my research online. Well, a week ago I searched like on the NFL website, and they have like the rules listed out. So when we go over that next week, we'll
That's
look at that.
easy peasy.
But that's your job, because
I'll do that.
and you can go, and Nick can be our consultant. Okay, he'll sit right there and consult and say you're wrong or you're right, or that's not
And I'll be like,
true.
well, look at the NFL website.
Look at the facts.
Look at the facts.
Boom.
Right in the face.
So what I learned in my research was that the idea of football, the sport itself, which wasn't actually like officially football, like started in like the Greek and Roman era. And,
Right. Yeah. Just having
because
fun.
men needed an outlet, like a fun thing to do.
Just men though.
Just running, actually, like, and the only rule was like get something, whether it be a ball or a decapitated head,
Which is so crazy.
from like one end to the other, and like you're on teams, and there was no rules.
Yes.
There was
Of
no
their
anything.
enemy, right? The decapitated head of their enemy, which is crazy.
Yeah. But
We should get that back. We should get that back into
we should do
football.
that again. Yeah, I think that's
Bring
a good
it, bring
idea.
it back from the Romans.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, yes, since the beginning of time, men were running away from things and
Avoiding.
avoiding. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that was just a joke, you
It
guys.
was joke. It was joke.
It was just a joke.
We love
We love men a
men
lot.
and know that we need to
So
follow
much.
them and do whatever they say, and that's
Yes.
why we're here.
They
And
don't
that's
avoid
why,
things.
That's why we're here, and
It's
learning about this is to
Please,
follow in
man.
their footsteps. Okay, so like around the late 1800s and early 1900s, it was becoming more popular in like college. You know them?
1800 and 1900s?
Like
Wait,
late
so
1800s to early 1900s.
when is the Roman era?
Like we obviously, I'm not going into like ancient history.
Yeah.
Who actually literally started this?
But I'm
But
curious
it's
because
just,
it seems like
it's always kind of been like
they played up with a ball and tried to get it to the other side. Right.
like Quidditch and
Yeah.
like
Which
other sports.
It's interesting that like it took up until like they started playing in college, like just this fun sport. And I'm assuming you're going to go into it becoming like a structured sport, but it's crazy how they would play this game for so long from the Roman era, and from like I know like it was a joke at the beginning of time, but like from so long ago that they played this game and they didn't think, let's put rules to it or like, let's make it into something until so long.
Mhm.
But it's kind of cute that they like just play the game.
It's like that, whatever that was, I think didn't just become American football. It also became soccer and
Right.
rugby and like but just different variations
Hockey.
like of that.
Get
These
ball
are how
too.
sports are made. I guess you just someone decides I'm going to put rules to this game and this is what we're going to do here. And then the other person's like, well, I don't like that one. So I'm going to make my own rules.
Yes. Yeah. With a little bit differentness.
Which is fun because,
What?
So yeah, like the late 1800s to early 1900s, down that the first college game was played in 1869 between Rutgers University and Princeton.
Wow.
Yeah. So there are 4 major Ivy Leagues. Yeah.
I was going to say, if you asked me, I think I would have just said Harvard or Yale.
Yeah. They started doing football their own way, started making their own rules and like a game to it. But when you're playing in college, you can't get paid, or at least at that time.
Oh,
and so they're like, how do we make this? How do we make this? How do we make money?
How do you monetize?
Because that's the goal in life.
Is to make a bunch of money only.
Period.
Yes. I'm going to turn something fun into something, a job.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So those 4 like universities kind of helped shape the sport. And there's a lot of history, which you can learn all about in the other podcasts because I don't have time to go over that or even remember literally everything. But all this controversy.
But controversy?
That's how they say it.
They say it like that?
Controversy.
Who says that? Like the English?
Yeah. Or Jimmy Fallon, I don't know.
Jimmy I love it.
Like with these 2 teams.
Oh, right.
The first betting scandal happened in 1906.
Oh, yeah. You said a little bit about this, but I don't know really even what's the scandal? I don't get it.
And it's fascinating to listen to.
Yeah.
I only listened to it once through and caught what I caught because my ADHD, bits and pieces. And I can't name the names of all the things, but there was a certain team, like, okay, for example, it was like the Bears Packers.
Yeah, and that's the fact.
Yeah.
That's actually how it happened.
Okay. It was 2 teams that were like the Bears Packers, like rivals.
Rivals.
And one team would consistently win. And this other team was like,
sucked.
How do we win? And like win sometimes, but then every time they played this team, they would lose.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So then they finally went to this championship game or whatever they called it at that time. And the team that would always win, the Tigers, they were called at the time, and versus the Canton Bulldogs.
Mm-hmm.
Massillon Tigers and Canton Bulldogs.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Something happened. I think I blacked out for part of the episode.
Right.
I was just like, am I really listening and learning about football right now?
That's what I said over text. I was like, when did you ever think you'd be doing? It's so funny.
But they had like their championship game, and then something happened. It's all in the Kate Mara does such a good job of narrating it and telling the story, and I don't even want to get into it. But there was a betting scandal, and then it like after that happened, the scandal like it kind of left a bad taste in people's mouth for the game.
Yeah.
So they're like, it kind of like took a dip
because you just like you're adding this weird like negativity and cheating that like doesn't have to be. Why are you involving it? It just sucks that it's involved in this thing that was so fun for people. You know,
but it's always going to be there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and it happens all the time. I mean, even in current football, there's people who conspire about it being staged, and the refs have bets in it or whatever. They have stakes, and so they call the wrong thing, and it just sucks. Yeah, for corruption, you know.
So
that was the first scandal.
Yeah, and then there's like a lot of history, obviously, in between that. But there was a man named Jim Thorpe who was in the Olympics, who was like the fastest runner of all time in the Olympics. And the history podcast talks all about him if you want to know more about him. But if you've heard the name Jim Thorpe, which I told her I have because of like sports arenas or like gyms,
right? Or like Little League football name, like the name of like the organization. Yeah. And I've heard of him because of like Elphaba Stad. Elphaba Throp, right? Throp. Yes, we're saying the same thing. Throp Stad.
Green on top. And that's where that came from.
That is where that came from. Okay, so he is famous for running
and
far and
like
fast.
Someone put him in a game. Someone put it like was like, okay, you're so fast. Like come be on our football team and let me see if like you can't be stopped by my team. And he did, and he made him run from one place to the next and like dodge all the team members. And he did. And then the coach was like, do it again.
What?
Yeah. And was like, well, whatever. So
dude, drama.
Jim Thorpe became like the founding figure of football.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So that's fun.
Because they probably saw him and were like, we need to do that.
Yeah.
We need to teach more men how to do that.
Mm-hmm. So, party topics, you could just like tell a man, be like, oh, like Jim Thorpe.
Stop.
Oh, people are going to be so confused.
Jim Thorpe.
Jim
Thorpe. I misspoke. Jin?
Throp.
Thorpe.
Yeah, Thorpe. Like Thor.
Yes, Thorpe. You said Thorpe just then.
Yeah.
It's true.
Okay. Football started in Canton, Ohio.
Crazy.
Who knows why?
Literally, what?
Someone does.
So
I didn't get
random.
that far. It's like, okay, it makes sense. You know what? Fun fact, I lived in Ohio
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
for 4 years. And even this day and age, there's not a lot to do.
Yeah. They needed
So I could imagine in the early 1900s, it was just land
right.
and rocks
And
people.
Person head.
And a decapitated head. And what are we going to do with this? Well, let's just play with it.
Throw it at you.
Let's just run around and play with it.
I'm going to run this 2 over there.
Yeah.
You're going to try to stop me.
So the first football league was the National Football League, and it consisted of 13 or 14 teams.
Oh, that's a lot of teams.
I know, 14 teams. Okay. So in 1920, it was called the American Professional Football Association, founded in Canton, Ohio.
Right.
There were 14 teams, and they played professional football. These were the teams. This is what was happening, right? Okay. So in 1921, by 1921, it grew to 22 teams.
From 14?
From 14 to 22. Yeah.
Wow.
And I know you're going to hate this fact,
year?
but the Green Bay Packers have the record for the longest unchanged name in the game.
It's
so
just
they've
because
been the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, but that just makes sense. What they can't change. Yeah. Makes sense. Unable to, makes sense.
So that was a fun fact, but not fun for everyone. But
it just makes sense. Unoriginal, more like it.
Okay, the most important figures in the first century.
The first century
of football.
Yeah. Not the first century of the entire
of the world.
Yeah.
Most important figures in the world.
Right. Yes.
So the owner of I hate that I can't pronounce words.
It's okay. It's fun. It's who we are. And we'll turn it into something.
Nick!
Don't overthink it. Nick! He better not be playing video games.
He's playing video games.
But if he is, then he sometimes, a man can't control themselves. He just yells at it. And I'm like, shut up.
Like we do at the TV?
If someone was in here, I wouldn't do that. If someone was trying to focus on something, I wouldn't be yelling at the TV. I guess he hasn't yelled yet. Nikki! Well, let's just say it.
The catcher.
The catcher?
No.
What is that? Can I see? Maybe it means the catcher, of the football.
No, it's a city.
The catcher of the football.
And he said it yesterday.
The cather.
Okay.
The catcher.
The
catcher.
Owner of a team in Illinois, the Staleys, which would later become the Chicago Bears.
Right, period.
The owner of the Chicago Bears was one of the most important. That's crazy.
That's so cool. It makes sense.
Of all the teams that you didn't even realize you were inducted into.
Yes, it is.
You didn't choose this life.
I didn't choose this life. I didn't.
And we didn't choose this life.
And neither even did Nick choose that life. He literally was just born there. Yes. Yeah, it's our God-given
invisible strings. But the Chicago Bears, which they became in 1922, they were originally the Staleys, which...
The Staleys?
Yeah. I don't have any Googling devices. They're being used.
So tell us why it's called the Staleys.
I'll look it up and I'll tell you next time. Yeah, Staleys.
Staleys.
That was the original name. So the owner of that team moved the team to Chicago and renamed the team to the Chicago Bears.
Mm-hmm.
The National Football League, it became from the American Professional Football Association to the National Football League in 1922. Okay. So there's 22 teams that are
change it
in this National Football League.
Right.
Okay. All these other leagues start forming.
Okay.
Because they're either they can't get in the National Football League or they didn't like some of the rules that they were doing. Mm-hmm. So we're going to start our own league. And there were 4 other leagues that were starting to challenge the National Football League. And most of them fell off within a couple of years. But
right. Commitment issues. Got it.
Yeah. This was between the 1920s and the 1940s. And then in the 1960s, the American Football League began to challenge the National Football League in popularity because these guys started getting deals with TV commercials and reeling in more money and becoming more popular. And so they started rivaling because the other leagues, they was just kind of it's college leagues or intramural leagues or versus, those kind of things where it's just other people want to play, but they're not that good.
They're not that good. Yeah.
So these
They
guys
did.
were good.
They did it.
So
Interesting. I
the
wonder
two
why.
leagues decided to merge on June 8th of 1966,
Wow.
and it took full effect in 1970.
Wow. It took them 4 years.
So in those 4 years, they had 4 Super Bowls before they merged.
Oh.
So I think,
Interesting.
at least from what I learned was like the two leagues talked about merging or like decided to or started the process in like 1966, and they had 4 Super Bowls. The leagues had 4 Super Bowls, and the first 2 Super Bowls, the NFL one, and the second 2 Super Bowls, the AFL one.
Oh.
So they're
tied.
So then
They're
they're
even.
like, oh, we'll merge and become one,
Yeah.
and we'll call ourselves the National Football League, which is, as we know it today,
Okay.
because that was the original.
Mhm.
That was the start, right?
Right. The first guy was like,
But
"I'm
now
the
this is
national."
why there's a National Football Conference and an American Football Conference.
Because they were separate at first, and they wanted to keep the division.
Yeah, like the teams in the realm.
In the realm.
Yeah, it makes sense. So like the National Football League and the American Football League were like playing each other for the championship, right?
Mhm.
So they wanted to make one big league so that so there wasn't division in rules and, players and anything else going on. Like they just, because maybe some leagues were doing their own rules and this league was doing their own, and they play each other and they're like, wait, that's not how we
that's
play.
not how, yeah.
Yeah. So then, they merged in 1970, and they became, or stuck with the National Football League, but that's why there's a National Football Conference and an American Football Conference.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And I need to take a moment.
I need to take a moment.
Because that was a lot.
And this is going to be a break. Short break. Commercial break in your...
Nick!
In this program. Nicholas! How's it going?
Good.
We called you a few times to fact check something. What's the name of that city?
That was before the Chicago Bears.
Before the Chicago Bears? Decatur.
What did I say?
That? Decatur?
Decatur.
Oh, Decatur. So the T is like a D. Yeah. Decatur.
Which makes sense for Midwest versus...
Right. And that's all. And this has been Nick's Corner. What now? Do you have any more?
Yeah. I'm not done. I'm getting a headache from talking about football for so long.
Right. Get that.
So that's why today there's
the 2 different conferences.
Yes. And so,
right.
not really the history, but this is like how we got to where we are today, I get. Or like, okay. Unless I'm like going to do a deep dive into the history and like who decided what, which I'm not. I'm sorry, I'm not.
Yeah, no.
I have other things going on. I'm going to do a Wikipedia fact check.
Yeah.
And maybe listen to a couple podcasts, figure out what I need to know. All of that just led to what we know today as the National Football League.
Mm-hmm. NFL. Okay.
Yeah. And the National Football Conference and the American Football Conference. And each conference has 4 divisions: North, South, East, and West. Okay?
Oh, the drama.
I know. Each conference has 4 divisions, which makes sense to me: North, South, East, and West.
Right.
And then each division has 4 teams.
Oh, okay.
So there's 32 teams.
Oh, that is good to know.
Total in the NFL.
That is good to know, because they're like last season when football was around, I feel like I had like a general gist of that. I was like, I know that there are different divisions, and I know that there's the different conferences and whatever, but yeah, the numbers thing, like I didn't know how big a division was.
Mm-mm.
But 4 is actually way smaller than I thought it was going to be. I thought a division, I don't know, but it makes sense now. That's good. 4, 6, 8.
Mm-hmm. Who do we appreciate?
Right, exactly. Us.
Yes.
The number 1 football podcast.
You're welcome for all the knowledge. So now you can go to
Sure.
parties and you can say, do you even know how football started?
Yeah.
Do you even know what year?
Anything?
It was Google it. 1920 is when it started. Do you even know who Jim Thorpe is? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I can't believe you don't even know who that is.
Do you even know what the original name of the Chicago Bears was?
What was it that your dad didn't know?
I think just the Ivy League rivalry games and like all of that starting and kind of like pushing the football, like just the general history, I think.
Yeah.
Like, and my dad is a Detroit Lions fan, which
Right.
I'm leaning more towards this season.
Mm-hmm. Just because it's like familial.
Yeah. And I did ask a close personal friend of mine, ChatGPT,
Right.
I said, based on what you know about me, who do you think I should root for? And she said, and well, she knows everything about me and things I haven't told her.
It's true. And she knows your last name.
But I know that I've never told her that my dad's a Detroit fan. I know that. Obviously, she's obsessed with me. She stalks me. She knows my life.
Right.
And she said, based on what I know about you, I think, and she listed really good reasons.
Maybe she knew, like, I was going to say, you never grew up there or lived there.
No.
Just your dad.
Yeah. But my mom is like you. She's a fan by marriage. Yeah. So that's how, like, I don't think she cared about football before marrying my dad or, like, being,
Mm-hmm. That's funny, though, that she said that. So you're leaning toward that more than the Dolphins?
Yeah, because I don't have any tie to the Dolphins except I just like their colors.
And that's a perfectly good tie.
I know.
But maybe next year.
And they don't even have the coach that I like anymore, so I don't feel...
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened?
He got fired. Yeah.
About what?
I don't know. TikTok it.
TikTok it? Hey, TikTok.
Michael McDonald.
The Dolphin Michael.
He was like 35 years old, which is so old and crazy, and we would never.
No, just a baby. I feel like most people that are like in the football.
No, I know that's why, because he was a millennial and his interviews were so funny. And he would
people
say
couldn't handle it.
Such unhinged things.
People couldn't handle it.
Yeah, exactly.
That probably is why he got fired.
Yeah.
His social media presence.
I'll show you some videos.
Softies.
Yeah.
Softies.
Mm-hmm.
I bet he's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
As cool as a man could be, I guess.
For a man.
For a man. You're cool for a man.
Okay.
Boy boss.
Boy boss.
I think it is still interesting, though, about like having the way that they started with the American Football League. They started like with one big team, and then other guys were like, well, I don't like you guys, so I'm going to start my own team.
You didn't even listen to what I was saying.
That's what it was.
No, but
they were like, I don't like your rules.
Who was the first league?
Okay, it's a lot of information to retain for my tiny pea brain. But the first one, they started off by being called the American Football something. The Americans Professional Football Association. That's what you said.
Oh, which is different than the American Football League.
Yes. But that was the very first, like, football organization.
Which became the National Football League.
Which they turned into that. But so, for them to be that, I just think it's so funny that men were like, well, I just don't like you.
Yeah, actually.
I actually really don't like that those rules exist, so I'm going to make my own.
But I want to throw the ball this way.
I want actually over here and throw it on this side.
I want to do this.
But I want to run as fast as I want to.
I'm going to make my own game.
And I want the field to be this big.
And it's going to be my friends on my team.
And then they joined together anyways. Like, what was the point? That's so funny. What was the point? Literally, they were like, I'm going to separate myself from you. Actually, I think we should combine.
Actually, you're pretty good at football.
Really good at football, and I'm really good at football.
And so maybe we should
do it together.
Do you guys want to play with, like,
hey,
you guys want to play
my mom
outside?
said that I could ask you to play with me.
You guys want to play outside with us?
Hey, I have a decapitated head too. Do you want to play with my decapitated head?
Like a little boy being like, it's my stepdad.
Oh my god.
It's so bad.
And that's amazing.
And it is.
And I feel like that probably would have happened.
And it did.
Yeah, that's a fact. I remember when that happened.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I was there. Them.
Well, that's what I got for the history. You know, obviously,
not
it's all true.
Well, and now you do
Nothing
have cool
else matters.
stuff to know.
You do know some stuff. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you did. Maybe I'm wrong.
And maybe it makes sense to you now.
Maybe I read it wrong. Maybe I heard it wrong.
That's possible.
But I didn't.
She didn't.
And I don't.
Impossible.
And I wouldn't.
Why would she do that to you?
I wouldn't.
She wouldn't do that to me. She wouldn't do that to you.
Something actually very Virgo of me. Well, you tell me if it's Virgo or if it's just...
Or if it's just you.
There's so many different angles to it.
Right.
But I do not like to say something if I'm not certain that is like a factual things. Like
life hack
historical.
for that is, oh, isn't that? And then they'd be like, oh, no, actually. And then you're like, oh, yeah, I didn't know. So I was just checking. And then they, you know.
I just don't. Like, I don't ask
I don't know
people.
if it's Virgo.
I do my own research. Like, if I hear something and it's something I didn't know, if I trust the person enough that is telling me, I'll just believe them. Like, if it's someone that, you know, like if you told me.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
whenever Nick
when
says
Nick
something, yes.
tells me about football,
I'm like, yes, that's true.
Okay, yeah. Like, I believe you.
But if someone says something and you're like, you'll Google it?
Yeah. Even if they say something wrong and I think I know I'm right about something.
Oh, you won't correct them?
I will double down to research to make sure that before I say it, I'm not.
Yeah. Well, because are you worried that then you are wrong?
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, you're stupid.
Yeah.
Why would you say that?
Yeah. Like, I don't want to say anything if it's wrong, period.
People are just so mean, though.
But that's like my own.
That's the sucky thing. Yeah,
trauma.
but that is true, like, with people. I mean, I don't know if it's a Virgo thing, because I don't know if I feel that way or get that way. But I just think it's...
Middle child?
It's like what we talked about. Maybe. It's like what we talked about the first episode of, like, being a safe space and, like, learning and, like, it being open to learning and, like, not being mean. Because, okay, if someone got something wrong, like, why do you have to be mean? Or, like, you don't have to be rude or make fun of them. That's what people do. You really thought that?
I have a really...
Yeah.
I'm really sensitive about being portrayed as stupid.
Yeah. I get
or
that.
dumb or like any of those. Like, I know I don't know everything, but I don't want to talk about something and then like confidently talk about something. So like even the things I know so much about, I don't even have confidence in myself because I'm like, what if someone says it's different? And I'm like, really, it's just a confidence thing.
Chat, what is it?
You could say anything and people will believe you based on how you're telling them.
Yeah, if you say it the right way. There are some people where I'm just like, no, it's true. I know it's true because they said that, even though it's not.
And one of my biggest pet peeves is knowing that I know what I'm talking about and someone saying no, like you're wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I'm not.
Yeah.
And I know this. And why are you questioning me? Because I'm short, a girl, a Virgo, brunette. Like, why are you questioning me? Like, whatever the reason is.
Yeah.
I hate, that is one of my biggest pet peeves.
Yeah. There's also like the flip side of that is there's people who like will say something so loud and wrong. And then when you like gently correct them or you're just like, oh, I don't know if that's true. They like get so upset. I've had that experience. Someone had said something and I was like, that sounds so wildly untrue. And I didn't say it to their face at that time. I was like, oh my gosh, really? Like, that's crazy. And I was like, that's like such a crazy thing. Like, I can't believe that's real. And so I looked it up and I was like, oh, like I'm so glad that that's not true. Like, I was like, I'm so glad that's not true. And they were like, no, I heard it from someone and they experienced it. I was like,
which it's actually crazy.
Why can't you just take it? You were just, wrong.
But at the same time, it is hard to know, like with all of the information that's out there and all of AI and everything that's like out there, it's like, it is, unless you're doing a very deep
very in-depth.
Unless you're doing like a very in-depth like cross-reference and like reading multiple manuscripts and all that, it's like...
Because that's the thing is people will do research, quote unquote, like on Google or whatever. And depending on how you look it up or what exactly you're talking about, or if it's like a specific, phrasing, it'll come up different. So it is hard. Yeah, there's like a plethora of information. And also like, who's to say that the people aren't paying Google to say the wrong thing? So this all could be 100% false.
But it's not.
So don't take our word for it.
Because I'm a professor. It's factual.
She teaches at Yale.
I'm actually super knowledgeable in this stuff. I spent 3 hours yesterday learning about it.
And that's a long time. And she knows everything now. That's true.
That's a lot of hours.
Any football questions? Come to us. Come to Ashlee.
Any questions, guys?
Come to us. Ashlee will know.
If you have a question?
She'll tell you the answer. It's true. Yeah, what else is there to say? I mean,
and I want to say about my pet peeve of like not wanting to be wrong.
Yeah.
I don't want to be wrong with historical facts or like the description of something or the meaning of something or things that are not a debate. Like you
opinionated,
can't, like this is white.
Right.
Or off-white. Like this is a ceramic mug.
Is it white?
Like you are white.
Yeah, I am a white person.
Like my hair is brown.
Yes.
Like if someone's like, no, it's blonde.
My eyes are blue. Yeah.
Yeah. Like those kind of things. I'm like, I don't like facts. But when it comes to
opinionated things,
hurting someone's feelings or
something,
how I reacted to something, I can be
situation.
Wrong. Oh, are you ready to
recalibrate?
I think it'd be fun to talk about on the pod live. Yesterday, you had a friend come over.
It's true.
Well, I came over.
You came over.
And Nick and I were here.
And then I had another friend come over.
And you had a friend from class that I'd never met.
For her birthday
come over. And you were decorating and you got her a little gift. And like you guys were going to go out afterwards. And it was cute. And she came over and Nick and I were talking about football or telling him everything I learned. And you guys were talking. Or she went over and she like got her present. And I heard you say, and Ashlee got me this. And Ashlee got me this. Like you gave her those things. And I look at Nick. I looked at Nick. Did he say anything? No. He probably had no idea what was going on. But I looked at Nick and he's like...
He does do that.
I know. I'm like, what the fuck? And obviously, like, I'm not going to bring it up while she's here.
Right.
or like talk to you about it, even that night, because I'm like, you're gonna go out with your friends
Yeah.
and stuff. But from my perspective, it was like you were giving her things that I had given you, and even though they were Dollar Tree things,
Right.
I was like, but I got that for you.
Uh-huh.
And so I didn't talk to you about it. But here's what I thought.
Okay.
Like what we've talked about recently, where it's like, who are you?
Uh-huh.
And like, would you do that?
Right.
In my mind, I was like, she wouldn't do
Right.
that.
Right.
But also, maybe she just thought, you know, they're Dollar Tree things. So
Right.
like, it's not like significant.
Right.
Or Ashlee won't mind.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she didn't, whatever it was, like, I know you at your heart. That
Yeah.
you didn't do
Right.
it to hurt me.
Yes. Yeah.
But that doesn't negate the fact that I felt hurt.
Right. Right.
And I think this is a very important lesson for people.
Uh-huh.
Is if a friend hurts you or does something that you think or perceive as a hurtful action or whatever,
Uh-huh.
bring it up.
Yeah. Yes. And I've
immediately,
been, yes.
as soon as you can.
Yes.
Not immediately.
Right. No. Yeah.
Because like,
imagine you stood up. What are you talking about? I got you though. It's like,
we're done.
but I've been talking about that recently too, like with my friends too, and how like people are obviously so different and everyone has such a different perspective on the world and perceives things in their own unique way. And that's why it's so important to communicate about it, because even in our conversation that we did have about it, it was clear that it was just something that like was not a miscommunication, because we weren't like talking.
Just a misunderstanding.
Yes. And it like turned out to be fine, and it ended up being
because
okay.
she was just letting her friend borrow it
Yes,
for
it was.
if they were going out.
Yes, because I wasn't giving it to her. It was her birthday, and I wanted her to be the girl of the night.
Gown.
Yes, ball gown, and it's just cool. And it was cool too, because like I was talking to my friends about our friendship and how it's so cool, because I feel like I never had friends before where like talking about things like that was so normal.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, I think it's just because we've talked about things like this so much, but there's just like a mutual understanding that like we're all people, and the best way to have a healthy conversation is to communicate about things.
Because the more time that goes without talking about it is the bigger the resentment grows.
Yes.
And the bigger the misunderstanding grows,
Right.
because then you get to think and make up stuff in your head.
Yeah.
So if I never brought it up to you, I could have just been thinking like,
Yep.
and then gone
And
down
then
a rabbit
gotten
hole
mad at me more in your head.
like, well,
and
resented you.
Yes.
Okay. And I know there are people that would be like, well, who cares? It's just a Dollar Tree item.
Right. But you're not them. And
like my love language is gifts and your love language is gifts.
Yes.
And some people are like, okay, even if they had the thought that I thought, they could be like, dismiss it, or like, oh, it's not important. Like, I won't bring it up or whatever. Like,
right.
Or think negatively and just be like, well, I'm not talking to you anymore.
Because here's the thing too, like, I have done that. You know, it happens to me, and it happens in my life where something happens and either I ignore it, or the conversation never happens, or whatever, and it's literally like the sweep it under the rug, and then you just continue, and then that resentment happens, and
it all ends up being, for the most part, a miscommunication.
Yeah.
But it's like and this happened to me recently.
Yeah.
But it's like the time that grew between, I understand if like a significant event happens and you get into a big blow up fight, and you actually are yelling at each other, whatever, and then you like don't
and
talk
that's it,
for a while or whatever.
Yeah, so sometimes that's necessary.
But the things that a certain friend was bringing to my attention that I had done to hurt her, I had
just
no
completely
idea about at all.
Right.
And it wasn't like I was dismissing her feelings or that it was invalid that she felt that way, but it happened months and months ago where I'm like, I wish you just brought it up sooner.
Yeah. If you had just brought it up
if I meant it that way, or if what I was thinking when I did that, because I do have ADHD.
Yeah.
And I do have take medicine
for my brain.
And there are things that I do that I just don't recognize as not being like socially okay.
Yes. And also, again, to bring it back to like, we just are all so different.
Yeah.
And we all just like experience things so differently and have opinions on certain things that differ from other people's.
Which is my fascination with personality tests, astrology, Enneagram, all of those. Like I love them all, and I love knowing yours. Yeah. Whoever is in my life, like I love knowing.
Yeah. Well, because then you understand the person better.
Yeah. And when I started learning about that and like learning my personality type and reading about Enneagram and these things, like I felt validated in who I am and things that I would do that would upset people or like ways that I just was naturally. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing life wrong.
Yes.
this is part of my
No, and I was
genetic makeup.
I was just talking to my therapist about it because I took the ADHD assessment to see if I was, and she said, I know, I forgot. Duh. Literally duh.
So what was the conclusion?
Anyways.
Did you figure it out?
I am on she said because it was just an assessment, so it's not like a diagnosis yet, but because it scored it with like points, and I was like on the lower end, but in the spectrum. So the spectrum's like if you're like have 13 to 25 points, then you are most likely have ADHD. And I think I had like 14 or 15 points. So it's on the lower end, but it is so, and my therapist was saying too, like putting a label on things aren't like necessarily necessary, I guess, but they are so nice to have because then you just get to understand yourself and you can have more grace with yourself and you understand, okay, well, I struggle with this thing that other people don't, not because I'm stupid or dramatic or whatever, or dumb or slow or whatever. I struggle with something that person doesn't.
And you struggle with something that other people do.
And
then
I
if
struggle,
you get to talk about it, then other people feel
and it's really nice.
seen and safe. And
I was like, I forgot to tell you.
Are you sure it's only 14?
I will say though, while I was taking the test, I was just, of course, overthinking every question. I was like, no, I can't put it that high because that's dramatic. I probably don't even experience it that much, and I'm being dramatic.
That might be a different mental disorder. We might need to take a different test for that.
But it was just things like, oh, when you do this at work, like, what's your range on the feeling on this? And that's like what I was feeling for years now is I'm just being dramatic. Like these things that I feel are normal things that everyone feel, but I feel it more because I'm dramatic. And it wasn't fair. But so that I took that mentality into taking my assessment and all the tests and being like, no, like you don't actually feel it that strongly. You're just being dramatic, which is just not fair to like think that of how I feel. But anyways, so it could be higher, maybe. I don't know. But I don't know. But I could just be dramatic.
You are, but
right.
No, I'm obsessed with personality tests and it being a format or like an outline of like how a person or who a person is. And I've more recently, like in the last couple of years, understood the astrology more. And I know there are people that are super into astrology and know their moon and their sun and their blah, blah, blah. And other people are like, I do not believe in astrology.
Right,
and
that's
I'm
not
like,
real.
Fine. Like, you don't have to. But I also think it's a framework.
Yeah.
I think for the people that I know that are Virgos, like we have a lot in common.
Sense.
Like a lot of the things we naturally tend to do is Virgo. And like other people
same
that
thing
are
with others.
Whatever in this category, like, and then you look it up and you read the person. Oh,
you're like,
that
makes sense.
It doesn't mean that it's exactly only who you are. Like I brought up earlier.
And you can't have any Virgo tendencies because you're not a Virgo. Like, no. But it's nice to, it's true. Drop your Enneagrams in the comments.
You don't even know yours.
Drop your mental disorders and what's wrong with you.
My coworker did the Enneagram test the day I told him to.
I know.
And you still
I just forget about it. And I also like can't, okay,
that's what we're doing after this.
Focus for so long on one thing while I'm alone.
How about I take the test? Like I read you the
No, and if we did it while we were together, like I for sure would be doing it. And especially because I'm doing it with someone that I care about who's interested in it. Like knowing that you care about it and you're with me, like it becomes my interest. But alone, like I just can't focus on something that I don't know about or I'm not savvy in or just whatever. And I forget about it.
Okay, so then you're not fascinated by like self-introspection?
I don't know, I guess.
Like learning about yourself and like how...
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably I don't care about myself enough to find all that out.
This is why I think you might be a 9 or a 2, and I'm excited to find out.
But those are such different numbers. What are you talking? Like
I know.
Yeah,
and I'm still getting better at learning like pinpointing, like trying to guess. I really want it to be my party trick, but and like the astrology thing is a lot of fun to like try to guess people's.
I'm so bad at that. I only know some of the people that I know and like theirs, but I don't know all of them. Like
I don't know. I only know a lot about the people that are like closest to me.
Exactly.
Like you. Yeah. My brother is a Pisces.
Yeah.
My dad's an Aries and my sister's an Aries.
I'm an Aries. And that's from Shrek the Musical. If you've never seen it, it's good. Actually, so good. It's so funny because it's Shrek. So like,
period.
I just remember because we did it in high school. And I played Peter Pan.
That's so funny.
who's obviously one of the fairy tale characters who gets kicked out and has to live with Shrek in the swamp.
Schwamp.
Shrek in a swamp. And anyways, but I just remember doing it in high school, and of course talking about it. People are like, Shrek the musical, like that's probably sucks, but it's so good.
Yeah.
Actually, so
All the
good.
Shreks. Anything involving Shrek is good.
Yeah.
There's nothing can compare.
Shrek is a good movie. I don't remember if I've seen all the rest of them though. 2, 3, 4, 8,
The second one
a
is
million.
good.
What's that one?
You know.
Where he becomes a human?
Yeah.
Okay. And there's like Prince Charming,
Mhm.
and the dad becomes a frog. Is that the third one or the second?
Mhm.
The dad becomes a frog. What?
So good.
So random, but it is good.
Everything in Shrek is random.
It is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, that's the end. We'll see you for what's the next episode?
The plays.
The plays, learning rules and regulations and how the game
Football
works.
as we know it today.
So subscribe,
Like,
smash
comment,
that like button.
smash, smash, smash.
Remember to call me your Enneagram and your mental illnesses.
Yeah, and
What's wrong with you?
what meds you're taking? I'm on
Mhm.
Prozac.
True.
But I need it.
Right.
Fun times.
Fast times. Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you.
That was the perfect ending. Ah.